This is Kyle Martin Paintings. Welcome to the Chin Coop Studio. My name is Kyle Martin, and I thought I'd take some time today to share with you some of my new paintings. I have a show coming up in the first week of April at Brewery Pottery in Mineral Point. I was pleased that Diana and Tom and Claire invited my work into their space for the first gallery night of 2024. And I'm going to be taking around 20 paintings over to them tomorrow. I've signed all the paintings, the framing is done. I just need to pack them in my van and drive them over to Brewery Pottery. But why don't we take a look at the paintings before they leave my studio? The title of the show is The Golden Hour. And the first piece I'm going to share with you is called Golden Cow. And this piece features a backlit cow at sunset time, just glowing in the sun. You can see a lot of the warm colors that I used to describe the conditions of the day. Here's a studio piece called Golden Hour Cow Shadows. And in this piece, the sun is setting behind the cows. And this piece is a little bit different than the last one in that I've backed up a little bit, and the long shadows that are cast from the cows become the subject for this painting. Here's a piece that I painted about 20 feet from where I'm standing right now. And this is the barn with the barn quilt here at the farm. And you can see that beautiful late light streaming right down the alley between the farm and the red shed. This was painted just as the sun was setting, and I thought that the lighting conditions were just perfect on that day. This is somebody's grandpa's old tractor that was parked right outside of a corn crib on their farm. This is near the skate park in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, and I saw it one afternoon after I was skateboarding, and I went back and painted it in February, right around Valentine's Day. I worked just as the sun was setting to capture that golden hour glow. Here's a little piece that I painted a couple of years ago in Rock Springs. I had a video of this painting session right here on this YouTube channel. And this is a beautiful vista that I painted in late September of 2021. My friend James showed me this location, and I've gone back several times to paint overlooking these corn and hay fields. This is my favorite piece that's going in the show. This is called Glowing Cows. And I like the simplicity that I used in this painting. Even though there's a lot going on in this painting, I simplified the patterns of dark and light. And again, I used some of those beautiful contrasting warm and cool colors to create that late light effect. Here's a piece called Reedsburg Golden Hour, and this was painted in August of 2022, right downtown in Reedsburg, Wisconsin. That Queen Anne building that you can see there is called the Cornerstone Building. And when I opened my skateboard shop in 2003, it was in the basement of that building. I've always liked Reedsburg's historic downtown buildings, and this piece features those under an interesting lighting situation. Here's a piece called St. Joe's Church above the Baraboo River. And this is a favorite view that I've painted several times. This is looking from the police station in Baraboo near the bridge that is on Broadway Street. And it's just looking towards the spires of and the steeples of St. Joe's Church. This is an abstraction, and it was abstracted from this little painting that I did back in 2019. I remember this was the last week in April, and Corbin was on location with me while I painted this one. Have some nice memories of that painting session, and I liked it so much that I created that more abstract version of it in the studio last year. Here's a plein air painting that I did 2 winters ago called Gradys Foundries in January. And Gradys Foundry is the backbone of Reedsburg, as it's its largest employer. So when it's cold outside, it's still hot inside the foundry. And on this winter day, I found warm yellow tones in the sky to contrast the January blues. I painted this standing outside of my van in January of 2023. And I went back in January of 2024 and did this piece. I worked on this piece over 2 separate afternoons, And I like the way that I captured the setting sun behind the smokestacks there at the foundry. You can see a little bit of the cars in the parking lot. And on this day, there was a lot of action going on. There was semi-trucks pulling in and out of the foundry. There was just a lot going on that day. And that painting led to this larger work that I did in the studio. Again, I kind of used the rule of sevens in this painting as well. And even though the sky is calmer in this piece, it was inspired by the colors of the piece that I did on location. So the show that I'm having is in Mineral Point, and this piece was created during the Mineral Point Plein Air Show in 2020. This was painted just outside of Dodgeville in the hills along Highway 23. I used to ride down Highway 23 to and from UW Platteville for college 5 days a week. And so I would drive from Reedsburg to Platteville 75 miles to be in the classroom to get my teaching degree. And I would drive past this farm every day. And I really enjoy the rolling hills in that region. And what could be better than some golden hour light defining those hills? This is a piece that I painted in August of 2023. It's called Granite Hills Golden Hour. And this farm is named the Granite Hills Farm. And it's a great looking farm out in the Baraboo Bluffs. You can see the rolling hills in the background, and there's a lot of beautiful light falling onto those hills in this piece. I painted this piece in half hour before golden hour actually started, and then I set up a different canvas and captured the last rays of golden hour light falling onto the hills in this piece. So it's the same location, it's the same days, it's the same series of days. I worked on these for 2 or 3 days each. It's just this was a half an hour later after that one. This was just as the final rays of light were falling onto those back hills. And I could keep going and I could keep talking about things. Here's a piece that I did a year ago in April. And as I was painting this piece, there were swans flying by. And that was a nice memory as well. But I think we'll leave it here for this video. If you want to see more of my work for the show at Brewery Pottery, of course, join us for that first gallery night. And if not, you can check out a lot of these paintings on my website. Thanks for checking out this video, and we'll do this again soon.